What's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? Welcome to the PT channel. I'm One Eye Bri. You don't know if I'm winking or I'm blinking. In this video, I'm going to talk about and discuss and review Season 9, Episode 8, Evolution, the mid-season finale. So obviously, spoiler warning if you haven't seen the episode, you don't want to know about the episode or anything. Spoiler warning for sure for Season 9, Episode 8. And I thought the episode was great. It was a great mid-season finale. I'm excited about the back half of Season 9, and it sucks about the ending and losing a character. We'll talk about that and much more. But first, guys, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and become a valued member of our PT channel, Walking Dead family. We have a lot of fun here, and I want you to be a part of it. Photo credit and info credit to these fine folks right here, just giving credit where credit is due. Now, Season 9, Episode 8, Evolution, a small rescue mission braves a dangerous herd in their hunt for a missing comrade, only to discover a surprising threat that could doom them all. The mid-season finale. So we gotta wait 2 months. February, it'll be back. But the opening was pretty great. You saw the Whispers, you saw some walkers, you saw Daryl, Aaron, Jesus, and Dog looking on, and there was more and more walkers, and it was awesome how many walkers were seen. The Whispers were definitely involved. Daryl knew something was up. He counted 130, 140 walkers. That's a lot, and they were probably getting more and more and more. Aaron and Jesus were concerned about what they were seeing. The walkers were doing some weird stuff, and definitely something that they weren't used to seeing. And I thought the Whispers were pretty awesome. Their first introduction on the show was definitely different than the comics. I don't want to get into differences right now. That's a whole different video. But the Whispers were here. They were creepy. The cemetery scene was great. Daryl, Jesus, and Aaron working together. Dog. Then we see Michonne, Magna, Yumiko coming there to help out. And it was awesome. I like the idea of them doing reconnaissance, gaining intel to see what was happening here before them just going in there and just trying to take out the walkers, because there was 130 to 140 of them. That's a lot of walkers coming together. How many Whispers were there? We just don't know. Now, a lot of people would think this is Alpha. Well, it clearly wasn't, because that walker got killed by Daryl's arrow, I believe. And in the trailer for the back half of Season 9, you see Alpha and Beta, and none of them were seen in this episode. I thought we might see Lydia, but we didn't. I know a lot of people are thinking that this would be Alpha, but it just wasn't. It just doesn't make sense. Father Gabriel talking to Negan was kind of interesting. And it turns out Father Gabriel just didn't lock the cell. He didn't lock it, just like he didn't lock the front gate of Alexandria. Father Gabriel cannot be trusted to lock the gate, as he didn't do that in the Season 5 finale. But Negan has escaped. We'll see where he goes and what happens there. Michonne is not welcomed at Hilltop. You can see Diane does not want her there. Tara does not want her there. And it's pretty interesting why. What has happened? We still didn't get any answers for that. Hopefully we'll get more answers later on in this season. But Diane, Michonne, their interaction was pretty interesting, because what did Michonne do? Or what happened? And where is Oceanside? Where is any of these people to make sense of what happened over the 6 years? I like the interactions with Magna and Yumiko and just throwing the weapons aside and be like, I just got these back. It was kind of funny. And I guess Diane really didn't want to be around Michonne, so she left with Carol. And I just want to know so bad what happened. And hopefully we'll get the answers in the back half of Season 9. I think we will. Angela Kang's doing a great job. I just love the episode. I just wish it was longer. It was only 64 minutes, and I wish it was an extended episode. But overall, I was very entertained by it. And I have to say, I do like Magna's group more and more each episode, even though that they were not really in this episode very much. Magna, Yumiko, their group will be around for a while. Hopefully, we'll see who actually lasts. And I see a divide with Michonne and Sadiq. Well, Michonne and Sadiq are a team, and then Hilltop is a team. The communities are definitely separated. Hopefully, these newcomers, Luke, Magna, Yumiko, Connie, and Kelly, can bridge the gap between the communities, because I don't like to see this disconnect between everybody. Michonne was not welcomed at Hilltop. She was forced to take her weapons off and leave them outside. They'll get them back when they leave. And why is that? I mean, Michonne had to have done something so crazy over the 6 years that she's almost banished from there. She's there for Rosita. She probably wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for Rosita being injured. And I just want to know so bad what was there. I know a lot of people are going to bring up the fact that Carol talked about RJ. which I'll talk about in a second, but it was very telling that I think we finally got confirmation that RJ is probably real. And I had to laugh when the riders, or the one rider was going from outside Hilltop and saying, the riders are coming, riders are coming. It's definitely like Paul Revere letting everyone know that the British are coming. And it was pretty funny because you see Michonne and Sadiq on these horses going really slow, and this horse was booking so fast and everybody went inside and there was nobody outside, and Michonne and Sadiq are just coming along real slow. And I thought it was interesting that Tara did not appreciate Michonne being there, but when Daryl was there, everyone was like, hey, Daryl, how you doing? But Michonne showed up and people were like, get her out of here. We do not want this lady here. But Sadiq is definitely on Michonne's side. I thought it was interesting when we saw Enid talking with Sadiq as well, and she wasn't really happy to see Sadiq, and Sadiq taught her medicine, so something big happened there for sure. Connie's interaction with Carol was pretty cute with the sign language, and I was like, oh man, there you go, Carol knows some stuff too. I love Carol. I love the interaction with Michonne and Carol talking, and we learned a lot just from that simple conversation. Carol asked about RJ. She's the first person to ask about RJ, so that's very telling and shows me some confirmation about RJ. But Michonne and Carol talking about the fair again, that keeps coming up more and more and more. The fair festival will probably be at the very end of the season. Carol and Michonne aren't really getting along, but they were cordial with each other, which is good to see. Daryl and Dog walking through. It was interesting to see Daryl, Aaron, and Jesus walking and talking, and then Daryl threw the clock, and it was a pretty good idea to cause the noise to attract the walkers and the group there, and I thought it was a good part. Carol leaving Henry was like Carol leaving Henry for summer camp. Be like, all right, son, you're away, or boarding school or something. And we saw Alden, who was being a blacksmith as well. They were giving Carol some supplies for back home at the kingdom. Diane was leaving with Carol, was like, I'm out of here as well. But Alden is with Enid, and Henry was going to make a move on Enid, but then he saw that Alden and Enid are together. So he's like, oh yeah, all right, well, I'll come to dinner. I got no shot with Enid now. And in the picture here, we see the windmill. You see the Commonwealth sign there. Is that a connection with Maggie at some point? Maybe, maybe not. Alden with Enid, do you agree with it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think Henry should be with Enid? We'll see if that happens. Henry not knowing anybody, I kind of feel bad for him for sure. I'm like, oh man, Henry, got to make some friends. These are not the people you want to hang out with. Clearly, they're slackers, they're losers, they're just the hilltop people, the apocalypse kids. They just kind of are the bullies from the comics, and Henry should really stay away from these kids. Rosita warning Michonne and Sadiq about the walkie-talkies, and Eugene is not safe, and then Michonne went out. Was kind of a good scene. I liked Sadiq and Michonne talking, and you kind of got a dialogue a little bit to see what happened over the 6 years. I'm excited to find out for sure. Hopefully right away we get to find out. But like Henry being drunk with the two guys and the girl, the kids just remind me of the Alexandrians, like Nicholas and Aiden, and they were annoying. So hopefully these kids are going to go at some point. But Daryl, Aaron, and Jesus rescued Eugene thanks to Dog. They found Eugene hiding underneath the hay, and Eugene was freaked out. What was interesting, though, is that Eugene has a good leg and two good arms, but he couldn't really put weight on the other leg, so he was hindering them from quickly getting away, and there was more and more walkers. And it was interesting to see the walkers being directed by the Whisperers, and when Daryl and Dog were trying to get the attention of the walkers, it didn't go so well, but it was very interesting to see that the Whisperers could kind of control the walkers. And the Whisperers are here, and it's awesome and creepy and just what the show needs. I think this is a good episode to build on for the back half of season 9. The storm came at Alexandria. Negan threw the ball through the bars, and then he sensed the bars were shaking a little bit, and he opens the door, and he's out. Where's he going to go? The Sanctuary? Is he going to meet Alpha? Beta? I'm excited to see what happens with Negan, and hopefully it's good for the show. The Walkers and the Whisperers were pretty awesome. The Walkers chasing Aaron, Daryl, Jesus, and Eugene was pretty cool. It was a little much that they couldn't get Eugene over the wall. I mean, Eugene had a good leg and two arms that he could have put weight on the good leg for sure. But, you know, it's just being stuck in a corner. And when they opened up the gate, Jesus could have went there a little faster. They could have helped him a little bit. But the writing is what it is. In the graveyard, it was pretty awesome and creepy with the fog. And when Jesus was kicking butt, we're like, yes, this is what we want. This is what we need. I know I want to see Jesus, martial arts, kicking butt, taking out walkers, taking out whisperers. It was pretty awesome. But I have to give it to the show for making a big change for Jesus and Rick and stuff for the show. The comic is the comic and the show is the show. They love to say that. Little twists, little turns, big twists, big turns. Killing off Jesus is a major turn. And when he swung and that whisperer ducked down and stabbed him in the back, I have to say that was pretty awesome. I have to give it to the writing and the stunt coordination. That was pretty great. Even though it sucks that Jesus is killed. Daryl cuts off the mask, and now they figure out there's a bigger problem. And when the whisperers were whispering some creepy stuff, and when the whisperers were running towards them with the masks on, it was pretty awesome. So I have to say this episode was great. It sucks that it's the last episode for 2018, but Season 9, Episode 8 was very good. And I think Season 9 has been great so far. It's right up there with some of the best seasons, I think, in my opinion. I think it's the third best season so far. We'll see if it keeps going. I still love Season 6 and Season 5, but Season 9 is awesome. I love this episode. What did you think of it, guys? What did you make of it? It sucks that Jesus is gone, and there's no coming back from that because he's killed. I don't know if it's going to be a good thing or not, but I think they kind of wasted the character overall. But let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. We have a lot of fun here at the PT channel. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. And tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys. Honestly, thank you.